I didn't learn how to assemble an AR-15. I learned how to assemble an M4 or an M16, but it's the same as an AR-15, right? And the reason I can do that is because the parts are exactly the same. And the only noticeable difference, and this is when people tell you it's not a weapon of war, it's not a military weapon, the only noticeable difference between the M16 or M4 and the AR-15 is the select fire feature, which means you can flip from semi-automatic. There's a little dial on the side. You can flip from semi-automatic, which is boom, 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 to 3-round burst, which is boom, 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 or full auto, boom, 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 right? The AR-15 doesn't have 3-round burst. It doesn't have full auto. It has semi-automatic, but that doesn't cease to make it an assault weapon. We were trained that you would almost never employ burst or fully automatic because they're an inefficient waste of ammunition. Like that's what Army marksmanship instructors teach. Because burst or auto are useful if you're laying down suppressive fire, which it just means if you're trying to force a bunch of bad guys on the other side to keep their head down so that another element of your team can move toward them. Now, that other element of your team has their weapons on semi-auto, and you know what that element is called? They're called the assault element, right? That's what it is. The M16 or M4 on semi-automatic is used by the assaulting element under U.S. Army doctrine to assault the objective, right? And so, I mean, that's what it is. And the other times, like there were other times when we were taught we might potentially use it, which would be like if you're clearing a bunker or there's certain room clearing techniques, but it's extremely rare. So 95% of the time, in my experience, Army marksmanship instructors would consider firing on either of the two options that the AR-15 doesn't have as poor ammo discipline, and you would get in trouble for doing it. So there's no real distinction, and it was designed for the military to take on the AK-47 initially. So it is an assault weapon. It is a weapon of war. And I just want people to understand that distinction so that when it's thrown in their face, they can throw it back and say, this was made to take on the AK-47. You don't need it to shoot varmints.
Right.
It's shooting kids in our schools.